What's up everybody, I'm Adam, you're watching the Model Aviator channel. This week we're checking out the latest release from E-Flite. This is the 80mm Habu XS or Extra Sport. The inspiration for this one was the old 80mm composite Habu 32X. I've got one of those and it is a phenomenal jet. This is basically the foam Habu pilots have been asking for a couple of years now. It has every feature you could ever ask for in a sport jet, very high performance, and some of the best handling we've experienced yet. Let's check it out. As we've come to expect from Horizon manuals, this one is very well written. It takes you through just a very few steps of assembly very well. There's no glue required. All the screws are the same. They're hex head 3x16mm machine screws. It's a very fast, very simple assembly. The part count is very low on the Habu. We started with a one-piece main wing, which has automatic electronic connections, as does the fuse. You simply bring the wing straight down into place and tighten it down using 5 of the provided machine screws. Next, we assembled and installed our tail feathers. The vertical has a rudder servo lead you need to feed through the horizontal as you bring it down into place. You'll use 2 screws to assemble the tail section. Make sure all your leads are free and easy. Plug those in. There's a cavity in the back of the fuse for you to stuff those wires in as you bring the tail section down into place, and tighten it down with 4 screws. At this point, the only thing left to do is get her bound up, get your servos centered, and install the push rod on the rudder. All the other push rods are pre-installed for you. The nose cone is foam and it is magnetic. However, the bracket where it mounts, including right up front where the magnet is hard plastic. So if you like to set your airplanes on the ground on the nose and lean them against a wall to store them, you can still do that with this one. I just secure this in a strap inside my hatch and I'm good to go. The Habu XS has a 48.8-inch wingspan. It's 49.2 inches long. Our example weighs 6 pounds, 1.3 ounces, ready to fly with a 6S 5000 pack. It's equipped with an Avian 130 amp smart brushless ESC, a 3665 2170 kV brushless in-runner motor, a 347 9-gram sub-micro digital metal geared servos, and is intended for use with 6S 4000 to 7000 milliamp packs. The Habu is bigger, heavier, and faster than what we would consider a safe park flyer. It's capable of 120 miles an hour, so small parks and schoolyards probably are not going to be suitable or necessarily safe for something like this. A sanctioned flying field or some large flying area where you can guarantee there aren't spectators in that flying area is going to be best suited for an airplane like this. Horizon sells this as a plug-and-play or a bind-and-fly. With the plug-and-play, all the electronics are pre-installed for you except a receiver. You choose the radio protocol, install your receiver of choice yourself. With the bind-and-fly, which is what we have here, all the electronics are pre-installed for you, including a pre-installed Spectrum receiver that is Spectrum DSM-X and DSM-2 protocol compatible. It is an 8-channel airplane, or has the potential to be an 8-channel airplane out of the box, depending upon what you program in. It has elevator, rudder, with a steerable nose wheel, ailerons, flaps, retractable gear, and of course throttle control. This airplane is equipped with an AR637 TA Plus receiver, so it has AS3X Plus stabilization and optional safe select. You can use a 7th function if you want to program safe and put that on a switch. And also, if you have a modern day forward programming capable transmitter, you can go into Avian programming and program thrust reverse with this Avian 130 amp ESC. And by the way, that ESC is strategically mounted right in the intake, so airflow and cooling is not a problem. We mentioned earlier that the Habu XS has everything a pilot could possibly want in a foam sport jet. We weren't joking. When it comes to build quality, this thing is absolutely stellar. I remember seeing the RJG Decathlon and the Sportix, and I noticed with those airplanes that the fit and finish was above even what Horizon usually does, which is as good as anybody and better than most already. This airplane is in that category. Love the fit and finish and the smooth foam. There are other things that discerning jet jocks like to have in a good sport jet that's really fast, and this one has all that. When it comes to hinges, they are recessed pin hinges. So they're completely gapless and the strongest hinges you can get at this level. The linkages have ball links on both ends of the push rods, so that is the most precise, strongest linkage you can get with an airplane at this level. Of course, you have strategic plastic in certain places to keep you from scraping up the foam. You have a full LED light set. You have a strobe on top of the fuse, on top of the tail. You have LED wingtip navigation and strobe lights, and you have landing lights on both wing cuffs as well as the front nose strut. And speaking of struts, these are CNC machined aluminum trailing link struts, so you have really nice suspension and some nice gear covers for the mains. The top hatch, it is a convenient top loader. You have plastic lining the entire circumference of the hatch as well as the fuse, so no chip and paint there, and there's plenty of room in that battery bay for even the largest packs recommended. Of course, with the Habu XS, you get the modern array of electronic goodies. We already talked about AS3X Plus stabilization. In my mind, that is the premier intuitive stabilizer on the market right now. We talked about Safe Select, thrust reversed with that Avian ESC. You also get smart telemetry if you have a smart telemetry capable transmitter. And something that is relatively new, but almost everybody already knows about, is the smart transmitter file option. This airplane has that. That is a setup that is downloaded into the receiver upon binding. You can choose to use it or set the transmitter up yourself. If you choose to use it, you just simply make that choice, and it uploads a full setup into your transmitter, voice prompts, the works. You are ready to rock and roll. If you decide you want to tune your Habu yourself, the manual is a great place to start. All the pertinent information is there. You can fly and tweak the tune to your personal preferences from there. And worth noting, if you decide that you want to take advantage of that smart transmitter file, you're not stuck with it. You can still go in the transmitter and make adjustments to that tune, all the way up to doing a full factory reset and starting over as if that receiver was brand new, if that's what you'd like to do. So you have all kinds of tuning options at your disposal. Now, we did download the smart transmitter file. We did modify quite a bit though to our own preferences. We didn't make any mechanical adjustments. We did increase the servo travel, in other words the throw, electronically in our transmitter, and we did adjust the AS3X Plus settings more to our personal preferences. Now, when it comes to what we flew this airplane on, you'll see we have 3 batteries here. We actually flew it on 4 with plans to fly it on 5. These are the sweet spot in my opinion. We flew it on the 6S Spectrum Pro Air 3600, Spectrum 4000, and Spectrum 5000 6Ls. We also flew it on a Spectrum 6000 Pro Air 6L. And we had plans to fly it on the 7000. I never really flew it on that because with the 6000, that was just heavy enough for me. I like to explore all aspects of a sport jet's flight envelope during a flight, including getting it as slow as I can get it. It's very efficient, so even with the lower capacity packs, you still get a really good flight time. Even with the 3600, I could get 4 minutes. I could get 5.5, 6, sometimes 7 with the 5, depending upon what I was doing. So you don't have to have a big heavy honking battery to get a good flight time. Now, worth noting, if you have heavy batteries like 6000 and 7000, it flies great with the heavier packs pushed all the way back. It just doesn't slow down as well. So if that's not an important part of the flight envelope, you want a bit more flight time, you can get it if you want it. Next is going to be our full setup page, our AS3X settings, Expo, our CG, exactly how we are flying our Habu XS. You can pause that and check it out if you'd like to tune yours the same way we did. After that, we're going to get into the demo flying, and after the demos, we'll meet you back here. We'll give you our final thoughts on this pretty new sport jet. One of the first things that really got my attention with the Habu XS is the sound going through the air. It's very turbine-like. I like it. There's a lot of power on tap, very brisk acceleration, really good vertical, and when you give her the beans, she will get on down the road. It is as happy inverted as it is right side up. It's not quite neutral, but it doesn't take much down elevator to maintain inverted flight, and there's plenty left over for more maneuvering. The vertical is outstanding. It's as good as any 80 I've flown and as good as most 90s. It can easily knife edge the length of our field. However, with the smaller vertical and rudder, you have to be cooking to do it with a 5000. The slow flight performance is also outstanding, even with a heavier pack. Of course, the lighter you go, the better it gets. The airframe is, as you'd expect with a sport jet, properly stiff. It's very precise. It didn't matter how hard I pulled or how fast I went. I could not get this thing into an accelerated stall, and a regular 1G stall is just like a trainer. Drops the nose and never threatens to drop a wing. This one can tumble with the best of them, and the faster you're going when you enter it, the more aggressive it is. This is a solid, honest airframe. That's something I used to say a lot in our reviews. Haven't used those words in a while. That's what came to mind when flying the Habu XS. It's one of those airplanes that just exudes and builds confidence. An experienced pilot's going to fly this one or two times and feel like they've been flying it for years, but at the same time, with the right setup, it won't intimidate the crap out of a newer pilot. The reverse thrust feature is very effective and can get you down on a very short runway. So who does a slow flight demo with a sport jet? I mean, what is even the point? Well, we do, and the point is we chose to do it with this one because the slow flight performance is so good. It is superior to literally any full-featured sport jet we've ever flown. This is with the lighter 3600 Pro Air pack from Spectrum. That's a very lightweight pack, and the slow flight performance is impressive with the 5000. It's ridiculously good with the lighter 3600. You do have to put it a bit farther forward in the battery bay to keep it from falling back on its tail. But I mean, look at it. I mean, that's like a Cub, not a sport jet. You can't do that with just anything. Another thing we wanted to touch on is that with the smart transmitter file, the flaps are on flight modes, and so is the trim, which means at every flap setting you can completely retrim the airplane. So flying around with the flaps down, you just decide what throttle setting you want to be around thereabouts, and you can trim it to fly perfectly there. Even with a lower capacity pack, it's got enough giddy up from almost a stop to go vertical and pull over the top. Now, full disclosure, this is not the first sport jet I've flown that can maintain inverted flight completely derby, gear and flaps down. However, this is the first sport jet that I've flown that can maintain it at that slow a speed and that low a throttle setting. That's pretty impressive to me. I'll be honest, I've flown a bush plane or two that I'd be hard pressed to get that slow. And worth mentioning because you can trim the airplane at every flap setting, including no flaps with the flight modes that are pre-programmed. Even with a lighter pack, you're still perfectly in trim. You can haul ass. Check out this about face from full speed. I don't care what you do, it just won't bite you in a stall. Full disclaimer though, some of you are talented and I'm sure somebody will find a way to crash this thing, but it won't be because of the airplane. I love my Habu 32X. It's 8S. It is the fastest airplane in our hangar, but being composite, it is heavier. It's got a higher wing loading, it's harder to fly, and it takes a bit more attention to maintain. So about a year ago when we heard this was on its way and in development, we're very, very excited. The idea of a high-performance, full-featured 80mm foam Habu with all the latest technology that would be easier to deal with on a day-to-day basis and rugged enough to fly every day really made me smile. And now that we have it in hand, we are not disappointed. Now there are a couple things we need to mention. The first thing is there's not a quick connect to adjust the nose wheel so that you can get her taxiing straight, but there's a very easy workaround to the normal push rod and clevises that are there. You don't really have to get in there and mess with that. Getting absolute full deflection out of the rudder does not require anywhere near full travel from the rudder servos, so you've got some playroom with sub-trim. You can actually sub-trim the nose wheel to get it nice and aligned. It won't take much. And then since you can get to the linkage on the rudder very easily, you just adjust that and recenter the rudder and you're good to go. The other thing is when it comes to flying off grass, you'll notice we didn't. The grass at the field we're flying at is newly planted. We've had a lot of rain. It's very rough and kind of pitted, and the armadillo's got a hold of it, so there's holes there. We didn't want to risk breaking this thing. In the stock configuration, as far as the wheels that it comes with, they're softer. People that whine about that will be happy they don't make noise, but the nose wheel is pretty small. If you've got really short, good grass, you won't have a problem. If the grass is taller, they actually made the front fork oversized so you can get a taller nose wheel in there to make that easier for you. I've been told that the main wheels, if you get a replacement main wheel, will actually fit that front nose fork, or you can use some other taller tire that you prefer, but we wanted to mention that because it's a feature a lot of people don't know about. When it comes to all-out performance, this airplane truly did not disappoint. It has the aerobatic capability, the speed, and the vertical to match the very best of 80mm sport jets that we've flown, and we've flown them all. Where it separates itself is the slow flight performance. We haven't flown any full-featured jet that can slow down like this one can. The stall characteristic is pretty much nil. It stalls like an Aero Scout, just drops the nose straight down and just falls, never drops a wing, couldn't get it into an accelerated stall, so it's very forgiving, which brings us to skill level involved. Horizon says this is a skill level 2 airplane. We agree. If you're coming off a trainer and you want to go right into EDFs, if you're very, very confident with your trainer, or you've got experience with something a little beyond a trainer, this is not going to be a problem for you at all. If you're more timid and you're not super versed with your trainer and you're just bent on making that jump, we think the Viper 64 is probably a better jet for a person in that category. Now, obviously, if you're an experienced pilot, you're going to have a blast with this thing. I know I did. It's got the widest speed envelope of any sport jet that I've flown yet, and it is fun to play with, both slow and hauling ass. So it is a kick in the pants. So when it comes to the price point, we don't really know what that's going to be at the time that we're filming this. Given the ever-changing situation with the country where foam airplanes come from, that could fluctuate a bit. So we've been told getting it sooner rather than later might give you a better chance of securing a better price. We're going to put some links in the description where you can go straight to this thing, check out the price, check it out. If you'd like to add one to your hangar, it's a great airplane. We love ours. We think you'll love it. When you go through those links, it helps our channel out, lets Horizon know you like what we're doing, and when you do that, we appreciate it. Thank you very much. This thing's a winner. That is it for us. Take care of yourselves. Happy flying. We'll see you next week with something cool with wings.